All right, it is now time for raising funds for World Domination, day number 191. All right, so time for the daily update. Once again, a couple of weeks ago, we won at the tenant board, and the apparently there's the landlord has an intention of appealing the ruling, and I've not heard anything back. I've not heard any official communication on that. So maybe they won't file, maybe they will, but we'll see. But we got through the hardest part of the rent eviction situation. So the next front that I've been working on is the Shopify store. So there is zero update on that. Today, no sales. The next thing I've been working on is the marketing video. So today, actually 97% was kind of an underestimate, but I think I can basically say today it's at 100% done the editing, and I've done one pass on the rendering, so I think I have a final video. I've got to go back and just watch it to make sure there's no editing mistakes or anything, and it's not uploaded yet. But the part two, so there's the one marketing video that I started working on a month ago. Basically, it's become 3 videos, and one of them is out, one of them is scheduled, and the last one was just rendered today. So the next front that I've been working on is the block mining simulation game. So the goal is to get toward the ability to add new crafting recipes easily, and the general purpose list UI feature that I've been struggling with for a while. So now that the video that I've been working on is done, I'd like to try and minimize the number of things, to minimize the amount of incomplete in-progress work. So over the next few days, I'm going to set my goal of like by day 200 to maybe close off work on this and get to the next release milestone, and that will clear up my time for new projects. Oh yeah, this is in 1.0. dash Giordani says, hello there, how's it going? So last night I had identified that I have an issue with like a circular dependency in calculating the list width. And I was thinking a bit about how to maybe resolve that. but I didn't actually get to think about that at all today. I decided to just push through getting the next video done. Okay, this was one of the problematic areas. Recursive dependency. So basically, the issue is when I create the list, I want to figure out what I have like two different renderings for the list. Well, actually, I can just scroll up here. So let's say I have a list of 9 items. When it's in the, oh, that's a typo. Yeah, so let's say I have a list of my 9 items. When it's in the horizontal orientation, it displays this way. So it'll be item 0, 1, 2, 3, so forth. And the other orientation, it's this way. And obviously it can be arbitrary numbers of items. So to do the main thing I need to know is like what's the width, and the height of the grid, I guess, of how the list is being displayed. So it's like just a flat list of sequential items, but I want to display some of them beside each other based on a couple of parameters. And to figure out the width, the grid width, what I'm doing right now is I have, in this case, it can be max items in adjacent columns. And that variable depends, give you max visible floor. And max visible floor depends on list item width. And the way I'm calculating list item width depends on the grid width. So it's got a, what it's basically doing is it's calculating some stuff based on whatever width was calculated last time, which is not correct. It's introducing some bugs. I like showing up for 2 seconds randomly, just to leave immediately. I generally don't understand any of this. Well, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, so the issue is like when I started up, I'm like trying to recalculate all the width and stuff like that, but what it's doing is it's calculating the width of something based on what it was last time, which is not correct. Yo, what's the plan to conquer? That's a good question. I made a dedicated video for the topic. If you check the link in the description, I go into detail on my plans. All right. Do I even need that? Will this work? Orion Sterling Young says, "Hey, you guys, how's it going?" Right, that's not correct. Feeling good. Just got back from the range. Playing with my new toy. I guess you must be down in America. Actually, I don't even know what our firearm laws are up here. There's always some plan in the news to scale back, have like collection programs and stuff. So this is not maybe I could do maybe that's what I want. I'm in Canada. The true north, strong and free. I think our Prime Minister apologized recently for making an ad complaining about tariffs. He gave stories but no solutions. Yeah, there's definitely lots of wacky drama going on with Canada-US relations. That's close to what I want, but not at the Fedora guy. Welcome to the student here. Excellent. I must have convinced you with my video. Thank you very much for the support. Looks like Canada's strict, but you can still get most things. I wish everyone were just friends. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be a pretty good alternative to the way the world is run today. If we could just all be friends and then spend our time doing economically productive things. So you don't need a license to go to the Queen's in Canada. Yeah, never looked into that. Just contributing to World War III fund. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it looks like World War III is ramping up predictably, so we gotta be prepared. Now, if I could just get this list rendering to display, right? We'll be there to start a new world. Yep. Axel Heiberg will be the oasis of stability. Okay, that's how I want it to look. I guess maybe what I will do, I will just assume, to keep it simple, I'll assume there's always a scroll bar. Gonna start my horse behavior studies today. Yep. I have to start binge watching videos about horse behavior. We need some kind of element that makes people understand each other. Most fighting arises from misunderstandings. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think a large fraction of the culture wars of the last decade has been a lot of it's like on either side of the issue. There's like about less than 5%, maybe like 2% of the population that has not very good communication skills. So they'll say things, they'll argue about stuff in a way, or they'll put it in a position, and they don't realize that they're arguing with someone who actually agrees with them. And so you end up with two people who are like, no, you got to think about it this way. No, you got to think about it that way. But they don't actually sit down to be like, wait a minute, what is the actual thing we disagree on? Because if they did that, they would probably realize they don't need to argue about stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had that type of situation where like there's two people in a room arguing, and then you can recognize that these people, there's a mutual and there's an obvious mutual misunderstanding that both of them have. You're like, no, wait a minute, this person you're arguing about this, and you're arguing about a different thing. So, and you actually both agree on this, and then when you say that, they're like, oh, okay, I understand now, and then they don't need to argue. There's a lot of those people around. So I will make this non-conditional. So then we always assumes there's one. You need better HR departments to start wars. Yeah, if they just had people who would go around and explain these mutual misunderstandings. We need to make C++ for communication so it's more precise and to the point. Human language is hard to articulate. I don't know, I guess maybe we'll have an AI that'll do this in the future. It seems like the kind of thing that AI could. You probably because this is usually it's like the dumbest people who end up in these kind of circular, imprecise arguments. So we could just have an AI point stuff out to them. Am I blocked? You're not. My chat actually appeared. Oh, were you getting censored? If you were getting censored, and you're not now, that's just it's YouTube censoring you. You can go to I think right now it's on like live chat. Actually, I don't see that at the top anymore, but maybe it's just not visible. There's like a live chat mode, and then there's like what is it? Another full chat or something. So yeah, you're not blocked if I'm seeing that message. There's very few people that I've actually blocked. But I do know if you make a joke about a conspiracy theory, about a like stereotypical conspiracy theory, that is a thing that seems to very frequently get just gets auto blocked by YouTube. What will be our Holy Land? That's a good question. Man, I didn't expect so many so many new details to plan out. I guess once I get through the next I'm gonna set my goal. So I finished the marketing video I've been working on for almost a month. That's done basically. I just have to upload it and some stuff tomorrow, and then I will devote my full attention to this to get to the next release, hopefully before day 200, and then I can maybe I'll come up with some more details, some more lore for the Democratic Republic of Axel Heiberg. Just had a comment where we don't need helmets, but Antless humans need. So from autumn to spring, we don't argue. We don't need helmets, but antlers. Okay, yeah, antlers. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess that would be one. That would be one good solution. If people disagree, they could just like, start like drag their foot in the ground and then like bang their heads into each other. That would be a much better way of resolving these issues. We need a new religion. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. There's a lot of really intense competition out there for religions. You can start a new one, but then it'd be kind of cringe if it's not like really good. I don't know. Maybe AI could make one. All right, back to scroll bars. AI could be the religion. Yeah, AI is pretty. It's pretty crazy. I don't know if you've seen there's already been cases of people who have had like AI psychosis where the AI convinced them they had some revolutionary new idea. And they went nuts going down a rabbit hole for a while. Because they're so convincing, they always come back. They're like, wow, you're a genius. You figured out this amazing idea. The drink is oolong tea. Just FYI, if you do go shoot range, don't forget to bring your muffs, because they always don't have any. Yeah, I probably won't be doing that anytime soon. Growing up as a kid in the 90s, watching TNG, I'd assume humanity would naturally fall into a self-loving cycle where we're all accepted and work together for the common good. Naive, yes, but forever hopeful. Yeah, I remember. I think like peak 90s, or like then peak utopia, like but when the peak of when we were the closest to like actually reaching this multicultural utopia was I don't know if any of you ever watched Reading Rainbow. That was such like a positive and upbeat show about stuff, and that seemed like the peak of when we had our cultural issues figured out, and then it just slowly got worse from there. Are you familiar with White Monster energy drinks kids are drinking nowadays? I know of Monster energy drinks in general. I like the green ones, the green Monster energy drinks. But I don't know, is there like a new type or something, or some with a new ingredient list or something? Reading Rainbow, good solid program for kids. Yeah, it was a nice. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe just the nostalgia of childhood, but it was just so like, positive. Actually, have you guys, any of you guys seen the AI generated Mr. Rogers like war documentary videos? Those are incredible. Like for me, those are a new. Like I guess I should probably that would actually be or kind of a historic time. It would make sense to have like the I should maybe even make something like that, like a reflective, like the AI eras. So there was like the spaghetti era of AI, and we're like, wow, this is crazy. This is so good. And now we're getting these new, like super realistic. Like they're actually the Mr. Rogers war documentary ones. They're actually like very watchable. Whereas all the AI stuff before is just like, it's slop. It's and unnecessary, like unintelligible. It's like interesting to look at, but it has no practical value. 100 milligrams caffeine. How much is in a normal one? I think that's isn't that in line with like normal energy drinks? Waiting for AI to create whole new Bob Ross series. It's already done that. That's another one of the ones they have. If you search for like a Bob Ross Sora, there's a few of him like getting angry and like smashing the thing. It's all there's really like a flood of just an insane number of these things. And I mean, it's interesting at first, but there's like an infinite number of these videos. I think it's gonna dilute the value of a lot of brands. Great for developing heart palpitations. I can imagine. Did you watch Mr. Dress Up as a kid? Or was that just the U.S. border states? Now that you mention it, I do remember someone called Mr. Dress Up, but I don't even remember anything about. I don't even remember what the person looks like. Okay, that might resolve some of that issue. Carl Sagan, Christopher Hitchens, Bob Ross, Richard Feynman, just to name a few, who of humanity's heroes that AI will rebirth to the next gen, and furthers their quest in asking questions and asking what's right. Yeah, but at the same time, that might be optimistic, because I've already seen for the Sora videos, there's a ton of them. Like there's I've seen quite a few of them now. They have a theme of being like the Queen, Stephen Hawking, Einstein, and like they're a lot of them are wrestling matches. So like the Queen doing a wrestling match with Stephen Hawking, and Tupac is there, and Mr. Rogers. And there's ones of like Mr. Rogers talking to Tupac, and some of them are funny. Some of them are not like it's AI. So some of the output from the AI, like some of the outputs are clearly kind of messed up and stuff. But there's just like infinite numbers of these videos now, and like when you watch some of the best ones, it's actually I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's actually meaningful content, but then for every one meaningful piece of content, there's maybe like 10 other videos that have really low view counts, and they're just like AI slop. They're not really funny, not really good. And I've already seen a ton of those for Bob Ross, so I can only imagine it's going to get worse and worse. And the other thing is they're so realistic now. The frequency with which I have watched videos that are AI, and I didn't know it was AI until I looked at the comments, is that's growing. But it's also like there's more people accusing stuff of being AI. Like there's a lot of my videos that are not AI at all, and people are accusing it of being AI, which is kind of annoying. Because like when I like for the high effort content that I put in, I have to physically go outside with my camera and film something in reality, and it takes like I gotta go to it takes an hour to get to the location. I gotta set up the camera, gotta set up all the settings on it and stuff, gotta make sure all the memory cards and stuff are there's space on it, and if there's audio, I gotta get the audio recorded, and then I gotta edit it and stuff, and yeah, I mean it's a huge amount of work. And then someone's like, "This is AI slop." I haven't had a crazy number of those, but it seems the frequency of that is increasing. So we're headed to an interesting place. Just checking in for the 4th day in a row. Suggestion: change the screen on your game to attract a new viewer. Looks the same every day. I've seen before. Yeah. The issue is I have to fix this. I have to get this working before I move on. Yeah, it's been the last, I don't know, at least 30 days or something I've been working on this feature. But now that I finished my the marketing video I've been working on, I'll work on this during the day as well and try to power through this, move on to new content. The problem is with actual development is kind of boring. So I don't know. People have said that I should stream like news, or like react to news or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where things go. This has been this whole thing has been an experiment. I think I recently switched on monetization again to see if that changes, like the number of views or growth, or because I had monetization off for quite a while, and I think that was affecting the channel overall. YT wants its cut. That's true. The thing is, the reason I had it off was because the actual amount of money that a live stream generated was basically nothing. And at least when I first started, most of the money was coming from super chats and like memberships and stuff. And when I turn on monetization, I have to pledge that the content that it contains, like, I have to say, like, does this content contain controversial issues, or does it contain this, that? And the live streams are live. People can come in and chat about anything. People say, like, what's your take on this political thing or something? And I don't want to get caught. Like if I say this content does not talk about sensitive issues, and then someone asks me about a sensitive issue, I don't want the video getting flagged, because then that'll affect my my rating accuracy for the other videos, which actually do. Like, the videos are what bring in the ad revenue. But so far it seemed that live streams are more, the revenue is mostly in the memberships and super chats. And I guess the other opportunity is just like I can mention stuff or sell things and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's also I wonder too if turning it on to, like, if there's growth potential. Like the amount of concurrent viewers has been about the same for quite a while. So but I wonder if the algorithm has a chance, like if I turn on monetization, maybe that turns on like some of the algorithm to learn. So if it'll actually start to increase concurrent viewers over time. Oh, speaking of super chats, thank you very much to Game Jeff Chat for the $10. Yeah, thank you for proving my point, because that super chat revenue. I checked the for, I guess, the other day's live stream that I did. The ad revenue was, I think, like 60 cents for that live stream, and that was that's 60 cents Canadian, so that would be about 47 cents American or something. So that one super chat, that pays for the ad revenue for like about 20 live streams. So that was my logic in turning it off, as I also figured it would be a better experience. And maybe if people come onto the stream and don't see ads, then maybe that would increase memberships and stuff. But yeah, it's all about just collecting data, seeing what leads to the most growth. So I just removed the circular dependency on the scroll bar, but actually I think I still have a circular dependency on the grid width. Or maybe I don't. How many billions we're at now? I haven't counted recently, but it's got to be getting close to most of them. I'm governed by AI and not real engagement. Haven't even said hi yet. Interesting. So now you reveal yourself after 191 days. Got around 100 to our 12 billion goal. I think overall, the last time I kind of estimated it was around, I think 2,500 or something. The revenue pretty much dropped off in the last, I don't know, the last, I guess, 70 or so days. It's really slowed down. Yep, it's definitely going in the right direction, for sure. $2,500, we're almost there. Yep, we're pretty close. So I think that So max adjacent lists, that's in the constructor, so that's not circular dependency. Okay, this one has a circular dependency. Guess I can do that. Let's see what that does. Hobart, Australia. Yeah, I do seem to get a decent number of viewers from Australia. I guess it's due to the time of day that I've been streaming. USA. Yeah, a lot of my audience on the videos is mostly in USA. Yeah, there's at least several people that are here pretty regularly who have mentioned that they're from Australia. So that's not correct. I like these programming sessions. That's good. I guess I would not have really expected people would get much out of them, but I probably wouldn't watch them myself. Although I think it's, I guess I can see how, yeah, it is just interesting to check in and see how someone else does something. James Goodrich says Earth adjacent. I mean, Australia will be the first country to negotiate a treating and recognize your northern wonderland as true independent nation. Excellent. Australian software is good. Yeah, I think it's I've heard of a lot of stories of like solo, really intense solo programmers from Australia. Someone told me about like their childhood of like writing all these, coding up all these games and spending tons of time like reinventing the wheel and all this stuff in the 1990s, and then the code never really went anywhere after that. So the issue here is it's giving me the max. Actually, so this would be 1 divided by max adjacent lists. That would give 1. Okay, that would give more than 1. Already petitioning my local MP to bring it up in Parliament for discussion if we should invest our mining royalties in support this new beacon of democracy. Yeah, that would be very, very flattering. Australia does a lot of mining. That's like one of your major industries. I think mining in Axel Heiberg could also be a big industry as well. So maybe there's a potential trade agreement for purchasing some new mining equipment from Australia and sharing of expertise. Mining snow. There's lots of exposed rock up there in Axel Heiberg. Division by 0. That's sad. $241. Make scroll text fragment. 260. Oh, that's why, because it's 0. We can gift the giant ground terminal AC unit for the housing block. And yes, Australia digs iron, coal, lithium, in that order. Yeah, if If I remember correctly, iron ore is like one of Australia's biggest exports. All right, that's closer. Oh, that's still wrong. I must have with. I must be using the wrong variable somewhere. Also lots of silver, lead and gold too. Yeah, Australia's a very interesting frontier. I think I actually watched a YouTube video yesterday of what was it? I think it might have been on like Geology Hub. I think that was the YouTube channel. It was about like the top I don't know, 30% of Australia. It's like very underpopulated. Where it's like, I don't know, 40% of your landmass has like 5% of the people. And it's just this like absolutely vast area where like there's nothing, but I'm sure there's a ton of like treasures and stuff. I think there's also a lot of was it opal mines? Geology Hub is an awesome dude. Yeah, I think I watched a bunch of those channels. They're all pretty interesting. There's about like a really interesting areas of the world. Actually, it was in that video I learned that apparently the cassowaries are also an Australian animal. And that you guys have a rain. I didn't even know this. You guys have a rainforest, and that's where cassowaries are from. And it's like the oldest continuous rainforest in the world, which is further proof that cassowaries are dinosaurs. No water because no people. Yeah, but we have technology now. We can make water. We can. I mean, there's enough sunlight and heat. It should be possible to turn seawater into portable water. Giant dinosaur bird. Have you ever heard the cassowary? That's how I discovered it. There was some random YouTube Shorts video of a cassowary making its noise. It's so cool to randomly discover the existence of a new animal that I never heard of. It's like a made-up thing, but there's just, tons of them everywhere. There's zoos full of them somewhere. Okay. I need to figure out what I want to do with this. So I kind of fixed a scroll bar bug. But I introduced another bug. Snow is powdered water. I'd say that's accurate. So I wanted to, the reason I added to min that was because the width was too wide. It was wider than it should have been. The Great Artesian Basin, water table that spans about half of Australian continent. Issue is we use it for irrigation and general drinking water in remote areas. Yeah, I've heard of that. There's like a giant underwater reserves. I mean, on the surface, it seems like a boring continent, but there's lots of super interesting stuff beneath the surface. And it's so vast. I'm sure there's still like tons of interesting stuff to discover. So when there's one item, this will have the value 1. My amazing channel of amazing stuff says, is this block mining game a hobby or a labor of love, or is it more than that? This is, I guess that's a good question. This is, I guess, one side project that I've been doing just as an experiment to see if I can derive revenue from it. So I have, if I could find the time to work on it more and derive more revenue from it, then I could invest more time in it. For the last about 190 days or so, this is just what I've been doing while I do the streaming, which is also an experiment to see if it's possible to derive meaningful revenue from just streaming, talking about gaming. Tonight is a reasonable night. There's some revenue tonight. There's also questions about, I've had monetization off for many of the last days, so I don't know if that has affected the growth from streaming. But yeah, I'd say it's one of my many business experiments to see if this is a thing that can sustainably grow. I have made some sales, so if you want, you can sponsor a block type in the game, which I'll demonstrate momentarily. If you like geology, check out Tasmania's history. Some nice parts of Tassie. From North America and Antarctica. Yeah, Tasmania is another super interesting place that's easy to forget about. And then I think also, if I remember correctly, there's down somewhere around very South Australia, there's like the saltiest lake on an island. It's like the saltiest lake in the world. Yeah, someone asked about the game. So each of these block types. So I've been, if you want to purchase a sponsored block type. So if you check out my Shopify store, there's a link in the description. You can make a purchase one of these sponsored block types, and then you'll get your a dedication with your name in it. And then that will become a block that you can mine in the game. And then, depending on how far I get, I think once I finish this list feature, then I will actually be able to add a more this is what the crafting menu is going to look like. There's a couple of remaining bugs in that. And then I'll probably add a few more types of blocks. So I'll probably maybe add like a charcoal block. So right now, to make iron, you just get a bunch of iron ore and wood. But eventually, I'll probably just keep incrementally add more like realism and accuracy. So you can mine some wood, turn the wood to charcoal, and then over time I'll probably start adding more types of iron ore. Honestly, I'm actually learning stuff about geology from this. There's a bunch of ore types I never heard of before. Lake Eyre, South Australia, one of the saltiest lakes, or a dry salt lake, 90% of the time. I forget, is it volcanic or something? AR? Not volcanic, just Australian. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think some of your, I don't know if that was in Australia or if it was just somewhere else, but some of those aquifers that they were thinking about using are actually like full of salt. So there's questions about how much they can be relied on. Maybe I would save myself grief if I tried to just merge these two render functions. They are getting similar. They're not identical though. Have you traveled outside North America? No, I never have, actually. It would be nice to be really rich. I was thinking if I had a ton of money, probably one of the places I would consider buying a whole bunch of land would be like somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Australia. I think I watched a documentary where there's these people that own like massive ranches and stuff of like insanely like just huge sections of Australia, and their land is so huge, and there's water there's waterfalls on their land that they don't even know about because their land is so huge. Unless you live here, you cannot buy property unless you pay a buttload of foreign tax for land purchase. Actually, I think I remember in this same documentary they were talking about how it's a problem, how lots of people from China are coming and buying up tons and tons of land. But I think for some of those like residency things, like we have like residency, you have to be like a Canadian citizen, but the bar to get in here, like as a student, you can buy it. New law is coming into effect June 30, 2026. Get in quick. I need people to hurry up and give me that $12 billion so I can get the port going, and then also I get set up a deepwater port in Australia too. Hello, sir. I'm following you for great tips and tricks regarding Linux. Love from India. Thank you for the kind words. That's why they added a law, a tax law. China buying up everything. Yeah, they're buying land everywhere. They're buying land around military installations in the US. They're buying land all over Canada. They're buying all our houses. They're buying everything. All right. Once again, it's not a super productive night. I'm reaching the point where the complexity of this thing has grown to the point where I keep like forgetting how I had designed things. Randomly, Hobart has the 7th deepest port in the world. Nice. That means you can bring in super huge ships. You guys got the deep water port already sorted? I'm jealous. You know, it might make sense to make this do what I had before. Because this will still have the uninitialized area. But then I'll add the same initialization code from the horizontal view. And that'll make them more similar. And then I can consolidate that all into one code path. Is it good to watch Mr. Robot for knowledge regarding ethical hacking? I know of that show. I saw some clips on YouTube of it, and then I tried to watch like some longer sections of that show, and there wasn't as much hacking in it as I thought there was. It was just like lots of talking and stuff. So I don't know anything about the show other than there's like a few, what would you call it, like soliloquies where he's like talking and hacking and stuff. But I don't know, for my amateur knowledge of the show, it sounds like it's mostly unethical hacking. But I don't know, maybe he's doing it for a righteous cause. I don't know enough about the show. So that should not occur. How much to sponsor and create a mineral called osmatium, the hardest substance known to Robert Elder, software and game. Is that a real? Is that a real mineral? I guess probably not. So for now, I'm gonna keep it focused on real minerals. So for the actual in-game identifier for each mineral is going to be the cast number. So if it has just me in mineral form, I think eventually I might add some fictional elements and stuff. But I think it makes sense to start it off with real minerals. So for now, the actual in-game data representation for all minerals is the cast number. So if it has a cast number, then I'll add it. Yeah, I think a lot of this code needs to be rethought. It's too complicated. Okay, that might do what I want. The cast number be the atomic number in game, as in hydrogen is H. So cast numbers, CAS numbers. If you Google that, it's a chemical something. It's in like an official chemical designation. So the atomic numbers for elements, that's like the periodic table. But then for cast numbers for like if like a chemical bonded chemical elements, there's a classification system for those, and that's what a cast number is. And I guess I could have. I think it's probably something. Well, that's actually one of the things I was thinking about with my double scrolling list, is to be able to represent, if I could put in like a periodic table in the game, so that way people ask for like microtransactions, I could just put a periodic table in the game. And I think there's a couple elements that have already been purchased, but I could make it like a map of items you can buy and then link it to the store. cast numbers. Yeah, I'm not much of a chemical. I did like one chemistry course in university, so it's also a learning experience for me. But that's looking better. That might, well, oh, that's weird. Okay, that's more correct. Right, still needs work. All right, 11:40. I'll probably leave it there for today. Tomorrow, I think I will have to do another pass on the most recent video to make sure there's no editing mistakes. Then I'll get that uploaded, and then after that, I think I can actually devote all of my focus on this to the day. So I'll work on this during the day and then on stream, and that should hopefully drive it to completion. So the goal I have in mind now is to actually release the crafting recipe version 0.09 before, or maybe even on day 200, so I can bring this to a conclusion. All right, have a good night.